Welcome to a training video on personal support plans and writing them for use within early learning and childcare. This training video reflects policy updates to the included, engaged and involved range as of December 2025. In this video, we aim to explore what a positive support plan is, to illustrate what a positive support plan is used for in early learning and childcare, to provide practical support in completing a positive support plan, and to signpost you where to go for further assistance with your. This is the included, engaged and involved, promoting positive relationships and a rights-based approach to ensuring safe and consistent environments for all policy, which was updated in 2025. This policy details the use of positive support plans to support children during instances of dysregulation. More information on everything mentioned in this training can be found by engaging with this policy, which is located on EduHub. For private settings, you may wish to use this policy to inform your own version, which is bespoke to your setting and your service users. So what is a positive support plan? A positive support plan is a document we create which details the specific strategies used to support an individual child who becomes dysregulated within our nursery setting. It aims to provide all staff, including supply or new staff, who are working with a child or young person, the knowledge to assist them in reducing the risk of behaviours escalating to crisis point, but also details how best to support a child if their behaviours do reach crisis. A positive support plan is developed to support all staff working with the child or young person. It is put in place so that staff are aware of bridge builders, for example, strengths or interests which may help a member of staff engage a child or young person positively, potential triggers, early warning signs of anxiety or distress, de-escalation strategies, or other strategies, key tasks, language which should be used or language which should be avoided, and agreed approaches to physical intervention or restraint. It's essential that we stop here and take a moment to be mindful that East Lothian policy is a relationship-based approach which complies with associated legislative duties and ensures that all children and young people in East Lothian schools and nurseries learn in environments where they are protected, cared for, and in which their rights are respected. Therefore, physical intervention or restraint should only be used as a last resort. Restrictive physical intervention should not be a planned strategy used in a positive support plan for children in early learning and childcare. All staff should engage with the included, engaged and involved policy, promoting positive relationships and a rights-based approach to ensure safe and consistent environments for all. For more information on the use of physical intervention and restraint. It is also important to note that seclusion, as defined in the policy we just mentioned, is not recommended for general use in settings, either as part of a routine practice or as a default response to distressed behaviour. When should I create a positive support plan or a PSP? Putting in place a positive support plan should be considered when a child or young person has previously displayed dysregulated or escalating behaviours, which we have to carefully manage to support both the child and others within the setting. In all situations where an incident with a child or young person has required the use of physical intervention, restraint, or in an emergency, seclusion, staff have a duty to plan for the possibility of the behaviour reoccurring and should in all circumstances develop or update a positive support plan and if required to be in place, update or put in place the associated risk assessment. How to create a PSP. There is a template which can be used to create a positive support plan. This is an agreed format which is used across East Lothian and it can be found on the East Lothian Council GIRFEC website under the Planning Documents section. You will find a blank version of the paperwork and also a worked example to support you in completing this paperwork. When we are writing a positive support plan, it should be developed in consultation with parents and carers and the child or young person, also with any partnership agencies that are involved with the child, for example, speech and language therapy. It should take into account our collective knowledge of the child or young person and any specific factors which may need to be considered, for example, sensory issues or medical diagnosis. Parents and carers should be fully involved in discussions. They should give their agreement to the plan and receive a copy of the positive support plan. This is particularly important when there's any element of physical intervention or restraint contained within the plan. Following any incident, the positive support plan should be reviewed to identify whether there are any further strategies which could be added which could have prevented the escalation. The positive support plan is written in the first person, as if it's the child talking to the reader. At each level, green, amber, red and blue, we record information we know about the child and how we collectively are supporting the child through this stage of the arousal cycle. The 4 stages of the arousal cycle that we are planning for are the green stage, where a child is calm and relaxed, where they are fully regulated and are behaving in a way that is normal for them. The amber stage, where a child is beginning to show signs of being distressed. The red stage, when a child has hit the peak of their behaviours, they are fully distressed and we may class this as a child being in crisis. And the blue stage, where a child is calming down and the crisis has passed. Across the next 5 slides, we'll look at an example of a positive support plan. On this slide and the next slide, we're going to look at what green support strategies look like. At this stage, we're looking at proactive strategies for supporting a sick child to stay in the green zone, in the regulated zone. So on the left-hand side, there are cues that I am calm or relaxed. These are bespoke things about that individual child that shows you that they are regulated and in a good place. For different children, these statements will be different. For example, for one child, talking to adults and other children, engaging in play, sharing toys and giving eye contact may be an example that they are calm, relaxed and regulated. For another child, making a constant humming noise, walking slowly around the room and not engaging with other children but engaging with resources and toys may be a cue that they are calm and relaxed. On the right hand side are the strategies for support. So they're the things that a child needs us to do as adults to help them stay calm and relaxed. These have been organised under the headings communication needs, likes, interests and bridge builders, sensory needs, and across onto the next page, developmental level and management of known triggers. The more information we can put in at the proactive green level of arousal will support the team around the child to help them stay in a contented and regulated state while they're within our setting. After green, we move to the amber level. Here, we're moving from a proactive strategies at the green level to intervention strategies at the amber level. At amber, we're recording signs of escalation. What we see or hear that tells you a child is becoming agitated or distressed. How do they look? What do they do? On the left, there's space to record these signs of escalation, and on the right, there is space to record what the response from the adults within our setting should be. This ensures a consistent approach by all staff when intervention is required as a child moves through the arousal cycle. But it's not just beneficial to the staff team. By taking the guesswork out of what to do in this situation, it is also beneficial to the child because it provides predictability in how adults will respond. At the red level, we are again looking at intervention strategies to support a child when they're at the peak of their behaviour or when the child has entered crisis, when they are fully distressed. On the left, we're detailing what that looks like for that individual child, what we can see that tells us that they're in crisis, how they look, what they do, how they feel. On the right-hand side, we have what the adult response should be at these times. Please be as clear as possible in these statements so all adults supporting the child can be consistent in their approach. At the blue level, this is the last of our intervention strategies stages. This is where the child is calming down and the crisis has passed. Again, it's laid out in the same way as the amber and the red, where on the left we can write signs of what that looks like for that individual child, and on the right we can record how adults should react and what we need from the adults around us to help us when we are in this blue stage. Sharing a time frame or a likely time frame for the blue stage may be useful. For some children, this stage can be very short, but for others it may be an extended period of time, and it can be good to give an indication of what that might look like, so that none of the expectations that would normally be put on us when we're regulated and in the green zone are asked of the child while they're still in the blue recovery phase. Detailing all of these supports on a positive support plan will allow us to provide consistency for children. Documenting what to expect and how adults should respond allows everyone to ensure that they are doing their best to effectively support children in the most suitable way. Earlier in this video, we spoke about positive support plans and individual risk assessments. But do all children with a positive support plan need an individual risk assessment too? Well, an individual risk assessment should be used in all cases where individual children and young people may engage in behaviour that has the potential to cause injury to themselves or to others. It involves careful consideration and assessment of behaviours that could cause harm and identifies interventions and strategies that should be put in place to reduce the likelihood of harm. The use of a risk assessment does not replace the application of preventative, positive behaviour approaches, de-escalation techniques, and where appropriate, it should sit alongside the personal support plan. A risk assessment should be put in place in the following situations: where there is evidence that a pupil's future behaviour may endanger their safety or the safety of others, where there is evidence that a learner's future behaviour may involve a risk of subjecting staff or pupils to sexually offensive behaviour, where a child or young person has been charged with a crime and pending the charge there may be a risk to staff or pupil safety. In all circumstances, the decision to undertake a risk assessment must be based on evidence and individual circumstances. More information on risk assessments can be found by speaking to your manager or the SLT in your school. Local authority risk assessments should be recorded and signed off on Sphera. For private nurseries and childminders, they will have their own recording systems for risk assessments. It's important that you seek guidance from someone who has knowledge of the context of those involved, has sufficient authority to ensure the required control measures are implemented, and has training in risk assessments and knowledge of the health and safety requirements. This training video is underpinned by the principles of our Included, Engaged and Involved policy, promoting positive relationships and a rights-based approach to ensure safe and consistent environments for all. More information can be found on our GIRFEC website and also through EduHub on the Nurture, Recovery and Reconnection website and the Regulated and Ready to Learn websites. Also, our Building Connections document, which can be found on the Early Learning and Childcare website, can support staff in devising strategies for positive support plans. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video on positive support plans in early learning and childcare. If you would like more information, please don't hesitate to get in touch with your early years ESO.